Mr. Chairman. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Noha Hossam, and these are my team members, Ms. Salma Mahmoud, Mrs. Rafi, and Mr. Hassan Al-Shaz. And we are opposing denying organs and bloods to non-donors. So, I would like to begin by a story about myself. I have a needle phobia, and I fear donating blood. I made an accident, and I was brought to the hospital with bleeding severely. The hospital refused to give me blood, simply because I didn't donate blood before. The hospital refused. So, are they now punishing me by letting me die simply because I didn't donate blood before? What kind of humans are these doctors?
Point of information?
No. What kind of humans are these doctors? Do you think that they have mercy in their hearts? Or do you think that these are kinds of humans they are cruel? This law supports such cruel actions. So we are now converting into monsters, no human beings anymore. So please, have mercy on me. Don't punish me for just a little mistake. Don't let me die. And have mercy on my mother's tears, who's crying, and who cannot resist her daughter's death. The same goes to the patients who are terminally ill and animatic patients. I'm sorry, How can you donate your organs who are in need of donation? How can you sign the donation card when you need something missing in your body? It's simply as the same as, in order to give the poor has to give you first. So that's insensible. Will you let those innocents die?
Point of information.
I'm sorry at the end. Will you let those innocents die simply because they didn't sign for that card? I guess no one will allow for such thing. And now, let me show you the ugly side of that law. In Singapore hospital, Sim Tihua lie on a life support. His brain is dead. Doctors came into his room and opened the door of his room like robbers. Why? To harvest his organs. In spite of his family's cries and tears, to begging the doctors to leave their relative, and for a miracle to happen, a simple miracle, who can convert that dead man? I'm sorry, at the end. Who can convert that brain dead man into alive again? So if that request is too much for his family, is that too much for him to have a single day, to live a single day? And that's his own life. So what are we looking for? Doctors being robbers and monsters, and gods who can give that life and die and let that person die. I believe no one will approve for that. So please, I beg you all, vote for mercy and don't vote for cruelty.
Point of information. I've previously mentioned that we're not saying that you should have donated anything before the accident or before your death. We're just saying that you should be willing, after you recover or after your death, to donate either your blood or your tissue organs after getting the organ, not before it. You shouldn't have donated anything. Thank you.
Signing the donation card requires that you should donate your blood. You should donate your blood or organ first, because before receiving an organ.
That point of information, what? Mr. Wade.
A point of information.
Yes, sir.
The speaker talked about a dying patient who the doctors were only thinking about harvesting his organs to save other people, and the fact that the speaker might have implied that if there's a dying patient, the doctor will not work hard to save their lives because they'd rather the patient die and they would take their organs. Well, it's the exact opposite, Mr. Chairman. When we have a dying patient who is a candidate for organ donation, we actually do more tests to this patient. We do our best to keep the patient alive and healthy. And so that in case the patient was unfortunate and it led to his death, the organs are going to be healthy. So the doctors, us, we do our best to keep our patients alive. That's the number one thing we do. Thank you.
Do you have a response?
That patient is a brain dead person. His body is still alive. He's alive. He lies on the life support. And can't we just wait for a miracle to happen? We are not gods. We don't know what's going to happen next. So that's only my reply for you. Do you have a question?
Yes. Ms. Noha, you said that people broke into a guy's house and stole his organs. Is that correct?
Like robbers, yes.
Yes. Okay, well, that's because there's a gap between those who need organs and those who donate them. Don't you think that denying to non-donors would decrease this gap? I mean, this is what happens when this motion hasn't passed, that people stole organs. Don't you think that this motion can prevent that?
But that's his life. He wants to live it. His relatives want a miracle to happen, so that we can't